Good morning. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Uh, like I said before about this campaign idea, it doesn't seem very likely, and there's really a lot of adversity. On Friday the 13th, I made a brief video after I checked the Division of Elections site online and found that I have been registered as a write-in candidate for this district for Congress. Uh, just a brief message, but it was kind of it was tainted because of being threatened immediately. So I deleted it because just after I was saying that it's official that I am a write-in candidate, that others started saying oven threats. So it's really such a terrible subject that I decided to go ahead and delete the video and someday soon make another. But this morning, when I started thinking about it and turned the camera on a little while ago, they started saying in the oven threat again. What they are is they're very murderous criminals. They're from a terrible operation. They're from a terrible, sneaky family I never even knew, and they're obsessively homosexual about their orientations. They're very demanding about it. They say that Albert Hartman installed into me when I was a baby because I was supposed to have grown up to be like them. So they basically adamantly, venomously oppose just about all of these opinions. And a while ago, one of them claimed that they're trying to be breaking into my computers to mess up at the quality of the videos. One of them, said a sneer against my face. And earlier, like I say, what they started doing is they really like to sound like a very mean sneer about saying in the oven threats. Another of them then wanted to very arrogantly sneer that they consider anybody who opposes them nothing but hides. So they're really a terrible problem. It's partly like being in a war, because some of them are official. Some of them are of official corruption. This morning they were again insisting about Salt Lake City, Utah, where they always intruded from, where they subverted sneakily at me from when I was a little kid. Again, they say they sneakily installed something into me very young, and that they were of a gay orientation through all of my life since, monitoring, subverting, ruining everything from thousands of miles away. So anyway, there isn't any way that I would ever agree about them. Instead of even wanting the word ladies to exist, they always interrupt to say the word ladles instead. They'd like to put you into somewhere where they'd be feeding you substance of ladies rather than acknowledging that there was anything nice about them in your life. So they're a variety of enemies, and they're always assaulting. So I've heard it said repeatedly, especially more recently. Why don't you go to DCF? And I thought about that when I was in Denver recently, also because there were a lot of threats. But the only item I could find in Denver, abbreviation DCF, was a gun shop in the Arapahoe County area. So anyway, I'm kind of worried that they might have gotten even worse in the Denver area. And I just want to say that I am planning to go back downtown to see if the DCF would want to work about anything of these matters. I'm sure that there's good people that work for them, but every time before I was turned away. Uh, there have been through the past. Let me just get this. This is a testimony. During the past 5 years, probably the most recently about a year ago, I submitted detailed complaints on the DCF online form. No reply. I also sent complaint using fax. There wasn't any reply about that. There was a previous one or two or more times of trying to put online complaints to DCF, mentioning the names of the participants that I know of, but still there wasn't any result about it. And previously, when I was downtown to the DCF location on 17th Street, there was a lot of disruption. Way back in the 90s, even, but I didn't know that there was any family involved. what would happen is I arrived to the DCF location and there'd be a lot of ranting and rampaging and passing traffic sound. It's like a drive-by kind of assault that interrupts and disrupts. When I go into the DCF lobby, they'd be passing by in traffic and blare their noise into the entry. And I remember at least one interview when I was sitting to an office with a particular employee that I was kind of waiting, chance, or if there's going to be any acknowledgement that there's any disruption. But when the employee didn't want to say anything, as though there wasn't any disruption, even getting into the air conditioning sound, that I didn't trust them anymore about that. But they were always very good about processing the food stamps applications, and I always very much appreciated having the food stamps. But there's been a lot more evidence gained against the participants through the recent years. So I'm going to plan to visit the place downtown someday soon. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that I had put through a lot of complaints, and most recently through a couple of years, because the same abuse family likes to say threats against our Constitution and government and population, that I diverted to extensive reports sent to the Department of Justice in Washington, but they haven't decided to do anything about them either. And basically, it's having a matter of having to endure a very menacing, threatening, arguing assault all the time. You know, they start in ways that are very insidious and very sneaky, and they're personally never on the scene about anything, and they always like to hide themselves, and they insist about installing operations. They invade into your mouth to interrupt your talking. They invade into your nose and an abdomen area. They like to taunt about ears. They say that now that you have vapors in your ears, they're really a very terrible offense. And when when they get angry about being told on, they start snaring, burning, and oven threats again. You know, one of them was likes to sound like he's a very frail gay, but he says that he's a murderer by the name of Mark Hartman, a cousin from Lincoln, Nebraska. I never knew, that I met one time back in the summer of '67, soon after Albert Hartman faked his death in Miami. They're really a very terrible offense, and I'm just having a coping with. There's so many emails went to the downtown sheriff's department. I've got files of certified return receipt USPS files that went to the sheriff's department downtown. It's just been an ongoing matter for many years. But what part of their scam is, not the sheriff's department, but part of the abuse family scam is, they start by being very sneaky. When you're a kid, they tell you things like, people will say you're crazy if you say you start saying that you're hearing noises and voices in your air conditioning or fans or anything. Until people walking past across the street, if you hear them rampaging from the sounds of the fans and the air conditioning. They're really very outrageous. And I want to say that I'm continuing with the campaign plan. I don't know how much support I'm going to have, but I have been adding good factual descriptions of previous reports to my YouTube video file, and I'm hoping that it isn't a waste of time, because it's a lot of good effort. And the people that like to say oven threats against me like to say them against just anyone else also. I'm hoping everyone continues to stay safe and still. Have a good day.